What if Austria keeps Czechia? Austria has had a long and complicated history with their neighbors, the Czechs. For centuries, the two nations have been intertwined with each other through war, diplomacy, and personal union. But what if one of history's most consequential borders had played out differently? What if Austria keeps Czechia? The Habsburg dynasty ruled over Austria and its many territories from the 13th to the 20th century. At the height of their power, they controlled lands that today belong to 5 different countries. But by the 19th century, many of these territories wanted independence. The Austrian Empire was crumbling, and in its place would be a new nation, Czechoslovakia. But let's stop the clock. What if the Czech lands were to remain a part of Austria? Well, first off, we'd probably still have German as the dominant language in Austria, maybe with some official recognition of Czech. The country's name would likely still be Austria, but perhaps it would be a federal state with more autonomy for the Czech lands. In this alternate timeline, Austria's population would be around 10 million, making them the 6th most populous nation in Europe behind Poland and ahead of Ukraine. The economy would be a bit larger too. Austria's geography would look much the same, except instead of being landlocked, they'd have a coastline on the Baltic Sea. And so the Austrians could set sail for new lands across the sea. They'd probably still be neutral though, because who wants to risk upsetting the Russians? In terms of politics, Austria would likely still be a conservative-leaning country. After all, it was the birthplace of both fascism and Nazism. The horrors of World War II would likely still take place, but without the added complexity of fighting on multiple fronts. Maybe Austria's proximity to the Soviet Union would keep them neutral during the Cold War. But with the collapse of communism, they'd likely join the EU and adopt the euro. As for their standard of living, well, it would be pretty high up there. In fact, Austria already has the 23rd highest GDP per capita in the world, so we can safely assume that their quality of life would be quite good. And finally, what about their culture? Well, it would probably be a mix of everything that's popular in both Austria and Czechia today, like classical music, beer, and schnitzel. And who knows, maybe they'd produce some truly great composers if they had a few more centuries of practice. So there you have it. If Austria kept Czech, they might have a bigger population, economy, and coastline, but they'd probably still be a small, conservative, landlocked country with a very high standard of living. Thanks for watching. What do you think? How would history be different if Austria kept Czechia? Let me know in the comments below.